People don't appreciate HuoHuo enough. First off, she is one of, if not currently, our longest lasting good healer. Now, I'm aware you do have other alternatives for abundance characters, and realistically speaking, if you want to consider remembrance, you have Hyacinth. But HuoHuo has thighs already out. You get shoulders already out. You get, there's a 2-for-1 deal. You get the tail. LC wise, it's cute. Now, I'm aware these shorts are hiding a lot. If we're comparing her to her competition, first off, Lingsha has bigger boobs. Who wants that? Why are you ruining my shot? You can at least visibly see Lingsha's ass a little bit more, but it's not much. Man ruins my shot every time. Hyacinth, now she's the main competition. First off, you get armpit here. Like, these are just arm warmers. They're not actual sleeves. So you get a full armpit. Second off, not large boob, which is a good thing. However, the question I would like to ask you is, since you have links as an option as well, do you prefer this view or this view? Because I'll admit, HuoHuo does not have that. Like, no matter what you do, you ain't getting that, which is, in my opinion at least, a disadvantage. However, if you pull E6, you get a naked HuoHuo. Now sure, the view is being blocked by Mr. Tail, but like, let's be honest here, it's worth it. Plus you get damage bonus, which is universal. So I will say the biggest hit in her overall viability was the fact that Cass and the buffed up variation of Jing Liu both scale off HP, because HuoHuo previously gave damage percent or attack and then damage percentage con. But she's really easy to build. Now Hyacinth wants really high speed, like 200. Yeah, sure, that's great. She does really good damage. However, have you ever thought about the fact that HuoHuo does not? Even her cons, you get 12% speed bonus. Yeah, sure, it's not the equivocal of Hyacinth's 20%, but comparatively speaking, you have to, actually 30%, you have to pull E2 for that. But like, who really is gonna pull E2? Because E1 is only beneficial towards your HP-based allies, which is like, yeah, Jing Liu and Casterus, but still, you get a free revive. That's like Casterus, the free revive, but you know, better, and only for one target. Look, it's something. You get healing bonus, which I'm gonna be honest here, would be really useful if Casterus didn't have a cap on the amount of HP percentage she can get back for the charge Pollock. But whatever, it's a Cass issue, that's not a HuoHuo issue. Now, I'm gonna be blunt here. The only real reason you use Lingsha is if you use Super Break. Don't get me wrong, she does a really good job at healing you, and Lynx does a fine job for a 4-star, but the main comparison is between Hyacinth and Hope of the Mahat. I recommend you smash both. However, you get Fox mating season with this one, which is like really good. Second off, the art is really good. Third, she's just really cute. Now Hyacinth's cute, don't get me wrong, but you're comparing both. Energy restoration, really good here. I would actually have honestly preferred if they had swapped out E6 and put that at E5 and then, or E4, and then E6 had just been an increase to the energy she restores, because that would have been more valuable in my opinion. But whatever, I do think both these characters are really good. I just think the utility of HuoHuo and the immense amount of cleanse is exceptional. Keeping in mind, Divine Provision has 6 charges, and for each ally, it can dispel 1 debuff. And mind you, when they use their ultimate, it heals them. Now, I will say, for all the goodness, the thighs, the armpit, the fox mating season, the lack of a chest, all of the goodness you get with HuoHuo, I actually do recommend getting her LC. It may not look like much, but the LC itself, providing you with healing whenever an ally does the ultimate again or uses anything, because at the start of the turn they would generate HP, it is extremely valuable. I would say HuoHuo needs her LC to the equivocal of Hyacinth needing her LC. Both of them get unmatched utility from having it, but she's still hot. Now, the real question is, what happens to Mr. Tail during it? Like, is he giving you pointers throughout the entirety of the idea? Like, if you smash her, is he giving you purely pointers? Is he egging you on? What's the deal here with this guy? Does he leave? I got questions that I need answered. Okay, so that's enough about actually, smashing her. Let's talk about how you want to build her, in case you want to get more value out of your bedroom partner. For relic sets and her main set, I can see you making a case for going for Wandering Cloud, because yes, she starts that Divine Provision, which means she starts with that turn of healing for everybody. The downside of this though is that if she's the highest speed character on that team, the moment her turn starts, she's losing that. So you need to spend a skill point anyway. And unless somebody like Sparkle was in the team to positively generate those skill points, you're going to be using them pretty frequently. At E0, she only has 2 turns, or essentially 2 rotations of her healing active. At E3, you get an additional duration, which is 3 full turns based off her own turn, and that's fine, it's nice. But I'd say at E2, especially Wandering Cloud has a little bit more value. You can go for the Hyacinth set for a grand total of 12% speed and 15% crit damage. Obviously, this doesn't help out your Super Break teams because they don't care about the crit damage at all. And for Hyacinth and HuoHuo, the stats are pretty much the exact same. You want HP, you want effect resistance, and you want speed. That's pretty much it. Now, you can go for Broken Keel just for the 10% crit damage bonus. Keep in mind, it has the exact same limitations as the other Warrior of Thunder and Cloud set. And you do have those downsides of, hey, Firefly doesn't want it, but it's very flexible because the new set that came out with Hyacinth, yes, gives 6% speed, which is like a grand total of 18% speed from the entirety of this set, but it doesn't give you any effect resistance. And the last thing you ever want is your healer being debuffed or frozen or in any capacity out of commission. Don't get me wrong, Divided Provision will protect you, but you still don't want your rotations messed up. As a result, I don't see any valuable reason for going for hack. Yes, it's 6% speed. Yes, it is a 12% speed for everybody, but you are either losing out on the skill point efficiency or you're losing out on the personal speed that you could get from the new set with Amphoria. And both of those, in my opinion, offer more team-wide value than just getting an additional 12% speed buff for everybody. Because especially if you're using newer characters or counter-based characters like Yun Li, they don't care about their speed. HuoHuo's entire deal is giving you a small amount of attack percentage and primarily a bunch of energy. This means that outside of the break teams under which she doesn't benefit, she's not benefiting your Acheron. She's not benefiting your Fei Zhao. She's not really benefiting your cast versus charge outside of her healing, which is nice, but you know, if you really want to buff up cast, just go for Hyacinth. For her LC, yes, you can use Time Waits Nobody. Yes, it's not necessarily going to be your best. Yes, I would recommend post-op conversation more. And Shared Feelings I would recommend, but once again, don't get me wrong, it helps her out with energy restoration for everybody because at the end of the day, that's her entire job. But I'd recommend something a little bit more consistent, a little bit less skill point negative. You don't really want your healers using a lot of skill points, and so post-up conversation is your easiest bet, especially considering it helps her with her energy regen issues, which subsequently would help her your entire team with energy regen. For cons, go for E1. E1 provides so much comfort. I'd say E1 and E0 HuoHuo, especially obviously with the LC, is a completely different experience. HuoHuo, in my opinion, gets as much value out of her LC as Hyacinth does, because both of them dramatically help out the team flexibility. So keep in mind this, and to further elaborate on this, HuoHuo's LC, yes, it does give you some energy regen, and yes, you would get more out of post-op, but the main benefit you're getting outside of the attack buff is the fact that when everybody or somebody uses their ultimate, it heals them a little bit more. And so this does increase the comfort of your team, because to further elaborate, HuoHuo's healing is not just, oh, HuoHuo uses an ultimate, she gets healed. It's instead, oh, Hyacinth uses an ultimate, HuoHuo and Linksha and Hyacinth get healed. It's essentially the 3 characters in total, the 1 main one and the 2 adjacent ones. I still think that she's one of the hottest characters we have in the game at the moment, but I really think that healers are overall in a great spot. Honestly speaking, if you want a little bit more consistency, I'd say any of our physical counter-based characters, Yun Li, Clara, they're like twins except not. That being said, thank you to our channel members, and I'll see you guys next time on a Weathering Waves video or an HSR one or ZZZ. I haven't decided.